العلوم عرب هذه مجرفات ايوه ايوه يا ساتينات ايوه روح ايوه الله اكبر.
The largest attack on Israel ever experienced effectively. And I believe it's shattered assumptions that Israel's security was unshakable.
אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו במלחמה, לא במבצע, לא בסבבים, במלחמה. הבוקר חמאס פתח במתקפת פתע רצחני נגד מדינת ישראל ונגד אזרחיה.
Over the past 2 years, we have seen Israel try and assert itself in Gaza, and there are questions about what it has achieved there, but also degrade the capabilities of the Iran-backed Axis of Resistance network in multiple domains. So Israel today very much looks like a military hegemon in the region, but a consequence of its militaristic approach that appears to have no end in sight and is very unyielding is the blowback Israel has experienced internationally and regionally, where Israel is more isolated today than it has been in decades.
You have 5 minutes, Your Excellency.
I find that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the threshold indicating the commission of the crime of genocide against Palestinians as a group in Gaza has been met. Specifically, Israel has committed 3 acts of genocide with the requisite intent, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, and imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group. The genocide in Gaza is the most extreme stage of a long-standing settler colonial process of erasure of the native Palestinians.
Populations across Europe have very much shifted from being cautious, if not supportive, to Israel's military activities to now openly being critical, if not calling Israel's activities in Gaza genocidal. This has also spread to the United States, where Israel has had a long history of close relations and strong support across the American electorate. And today, polls very much indicate shifts taking place among younger generations of Americans, both in the Republican and Democratic Party. And those shifts should be alarming for Israel now, but also over a longer period of time.
We start this press briefing in Geneva.
It is a famine openly promoted by some Israeli leaders as a weapon of war.
It remains to be seen if Arab leaders will have the confidence to openly engage with Israel after this 2-year military activity across the region, and particularly in Gaza. Middle Eastern populations have been sort of horrified by Israel's approach, the humanitarian consequences, the man-made famine, and the powerlessness of their own leaders and the international community to stop it. Iran itself has also engaged in a direct war with Israel that saw the US also intervene, and many red lines have been crossed in the region over the past 2 years. And Iran today has also seen the nuclear agreement fully unravel. Snapback sanctions have been reimposed by Europe and also the signatories of the Iran nuclear agreement. Iran is isolated on top of that internationally.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Statehood and recognition of Palestinian statehood has moved forward significantly, and that is a positive step. But at the same time, peace plans and political settlements, including the ones put forward by the White House just recently, don't directly look to engage Palestinians and Palestinian leadership. And I think that is a big challenge going forward. We're talking about statehood, but we're doing so in tandem with a discussion of a demilitarized Palestine that is also supposed to be sovereign.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has made it his sort of lifelong commitment as a politician to make sure there is no Palestinian state at the let alone at the end of a process, and that of course contradicts regional efforts and international ones. Until the Israeli electorate and the Israeli leadership, including Israeli opposition figures, begin to openly discuss and embrace a political process and a political settlement that is in line with the ambitions and objectives of Palestinians and the international community, it's hard to see this quickly coming to an end. Palestinians have suffered an inordinate amount of everything from humanitarian pain and pressure, death, loss, famine, but also uncertainty in Gaza and in the West Bank that will have consequences not just in the immediate, but over a generation, if not two, where the trauma of this past 2 years will certainly be carried forward across society and within families that have experienced such profound loss, with over 60,000 deaths currently reported, and certainly those numbers are higher when this war comes to an end. There will be a reckoning for really what happened.